Well, we've got a special treat for you. A bundle of cute dogs, including 3 puppies, all available for adoption through the Humane Society of the Ozarks. 5 News reporter Veronica Ortega has more in this week's Adopt a Pet segment.
5-year-old hound mix Leonard is eagerly awaiting for the perfect place and family to call his own. Found as a stray in Madison County, Leonard is ready to put a roof over his head.
He's pretty chill when he wants to be chill, but then he's also pretty crazy when he wants to be crazy. He is the most easygoing dog.
Leonard is fully vetted, microchipped, neutered, and heartworm negative. This handsome gentleman loves other dogs, kids, and even cats.
On the flip side, these lab mix puppies are also ready to be adopted. Don't let their cuteness fool you. They're going to need a lot of patience as they continue to grow.
Puppies do require a lot of work, so potty training, staying on task with whatever training has been set in stone instead of straying from that. That's the biggest key, is consistency.
Toph, Momo, and Katara are sisters from the same litter. They have been fully vetted. The 14-week-old pups have been named after characters from the popular movie Avatar. These girls were found living outside near Ozarks.
They're just cute little puppies that bounce around and like to play and have fun, and then of course when their bellies are full they like to sleep.
Baby shark teeth and puppy breath aside, these adorable pot-bellied animals can adapt to any home environment. So if you're ready to take on the responsibility of a young pup or would prefer a sweetheart like Leonard, these dogs are ready to go to their forever homes. In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Veronica Ortega, 5 News.
Now, the Humane Society of the Ozarks has a fundraiser coming up this Sunday at Sassafras Springs Vineyard and Winery. If you're interested in applying to adopt Leonard or one of those puppies, you can find a link on our website, 5newsonline.com.